Hi, I'm Henry DeVries. Welcome to Agency Rainmaker TV. So this is where we look at issues for agencies and how to make it rain, and also how to free up their time so they have time to make it rain. Number one pain of agencies: 2 out of 3 say not enough right fit clients in their pipeline. Number 2 pain is not enough time to do business development with all the admin and things they have to worry about, especially things like attracting top talent, retaining talent, and being able to execute on strategies. Very happy to have a guest with us today, Allyns Melendez. Allyns, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Henry?
I'm super good. Why don't you tell everybody who you serve, who your clients are?
So most of my clients are digital agencies, PR agencies, marketing agencies, and I have some other clients in other sectors like healthcare, health products, and the like.
So that's great. So you understand our pains. I guess currently I'm an agency owner, and when I was a big agency owner, I used to make big plans and watch them go horribly wrong. Now I write about it for Forbes.com and do this agency Rainmaker TV show. So let's go to what you do for agencies. If you could share that, please.
Sure. So I provide, and my company provides, HR services. So we have 3 pillars. The first one is our HR services. We provide consulting, projects around, creating a compensation strategy, an HR strategy, onboarding, offboarding, employee relations, benefits, all of the things that fall under HR. That first pillar of services that we provide is that HR services, everything that you'd probably want an HR director or manager or CHRO to do. The second pillar of our business focuses on executive level and leadership level coaching. And we really do focus on the behavioral aspect of coaching. So this is I don't know why I can't get myself to have that difficult conversation. I need someone to coach me. Or this keeps me up at night. The people problems that I have keep me up at night. I just need somebody to talk it through with. And then in other aspects of that coaching and development, I really help them become this more chameleon-like leader, this person who can sort of shapeshift in the moment to be better at showing up in front of all of their customers, their clients, their staff. And I run my company like an agency because I've been in the agency world for 15 years and I've been in HR for 25 plus years. So I really understand what goes through this agency owner's mind when it comes to just showing up and being dynamic for all of those people. And then the third pillar is corporate training. So we like to focus on compliance training first, sexual harassment in the states that require them, HR, effective interviewing, that kind of training. But we also do for agencies, which is really popular, one, difficult conversations for leadership members. Managing people probably gets in the way of just being so dynamic in an agency setting. The second one is presentation skills. So we do a ton of different trainings. There's a lot on our menu, but the agencies are very, very interested in the presentation skills. And this is taking junior staff to senior staff to really get in front of the client and be great and be dynamic and think on the fly. So when you take a junior agency member all the way to a senior, it gets more difficult when you're pitching new business. So we work on their presentation skills for them as well. As again, we also offer lots of other different kinds of trainings for leadership and for junior staff.
That's great. My background is Dutch, and the Dutch have a saying, I'll translate it, but it was on a plate in my grandparents' house on the wall. And it translates to: the world is good, but the people could be better. So I think you have a lifetime of work available to you, because when I talk to agency owners, 2 big problems other than business development always come up. 1, people problems, and 2, cash flow problems. So people, money are right up there too, along with business development. So good for doing that. Well, let's talk business development for you. You've been around the block. How do you make it rain for your business? Tell me the different things you do to attract clients.
The first thing is results. I attracted my first client just having a great network of people who knew what my results were from living in the agency world, for being the head of HR, head of finance, head of IT, head of operations in the agency world. And, they've come across me and I would always just give advice away for free. And they said, Allyns, you've got a business here. So that first client that I took on was through a networking, through an opportunity that I had with someone I'd known for a long time. And I produced results. And from there, it just continued to stem out because they kept saying, you got a people issue? You know who I know loves people issues and are going to solve them and just keep solving things for you and helping you be a better leader? Allyns is that person. And so that's how I grew the business. And then becoming a rainmaker in this sort of industry, it can be difficult because the results do need to be sticky, right? They need to be sticky and last in that agency or last in that organization. But I also think that the reputation and the quality of what you say, HR is very heavily wrought with legal issues. And so that also creates these partnerships with lawyers and attorneys. And I am very much one of those people who say, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And if we need to bring somebody in, we will. I think that the people that I come across don't want to work with a lawyer. They want to work with someone who knows the industry landscape, that understands how an agency operates and is understanding of that agency owner. And so that's what I bring to the table, and word just gets out. And then after that, putting myself out there on social media or on any of those venues is not something that I've really embraced my entire life. I'm in my 40s, and I'm definitely someone who's not on Instagram or doing all of that. But that has definitely proven to bring in some of an audience. There's a lot of pressure to show up in that stage. And there's so many other people that you compete with. For me, though, they're showing up to that stage because I've produced results, and through word of mouth and my network, they're starting to talk about what our team and what my company does. So that's how we make it rain. We show up and we have results, and we make sure that those results are lasting at that company, that they are solutions that are long-term and lasting.
Well, let me say some of that back to you to see if I'm tracking, because this is what I heard. People hire you because of your knowledge. You're not attorneys, but you certainly are conversant in the law around HR. Expertise, you've been doing this before, and you know the niche in America, niche in Canada. So you know the niche and the individual issues. And then 3, it sounded like your relationships. You have relationships that can be brought in and parlay. Those relationships also help bring you referrals. Does that sound accurate?
It sounds great, Henry. That's exactly it.
Sounds like a great formula for us all. I'll tell you my thing when something legal comes up, I always say, the following is not legal advice. Please seek competent legal advice before making any decision. All decisions remain yours. The following is for business development, educational purposes only. Then I say, if we ever go to trial, I want you to remember that that's what I said to you. Or if you're brought into a trial for somebody else, to say, no, he always said this thing about he's not an attorney. So yeah, so we have to be careful in that. But I have a lot of information about publishing and copyright and fair use doctrine. You have a lot. I'm sure we could tick off some of the things, but at will employment, employment agreements, the EEOC or whatever. So what are some of the areas that you do have this deep knowledge on?
Absolutely. So the landscape in the United States is so complex. If you have employees sitting in New York, in California, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, there's all these different laws that you need to know. So if you're hiring this remote person in California and you're a Florida-based business, Florida businesses don't have a lot of legal landscape to navigate. California does. So, I have a very deep knowledge of what are the things that are essential that you must either provide when you bring somebody on board and you have them as employees and you want to retain them. What are some basic benefits that are required? And then when you let someone go, there's all these different rules. So I really shine in solving those problems because I provide those business owners with, here's option 1. Option 1, let them go, don't do anything. Here's the risk of doing that. You're supposed to let them go and give them their paycheck on that day. You know, there's all these rules. And so that is such a big value to those clients, because they said, oh, I had no idea. I just let that person go yesterday. I said, well, you better call your payroll person right away and get a check out to them ASAP, because you're not navigating the law because you're in Florida and this person's in California. So my knowledge is pretty deep in knowing how to navigate onboarding, retention, and offboarding in all of these different states.
Yeah, I am in the People's Republic of California. I was just down south, and somebody from South Carolina said, you know what's so good about you folks in California is that you're a whole country away from us. So I get it. Some people might say a legal bellwether state. Other people say, keep those nuts away from us. So I get it. That's nice that they have you to navigate those things, because a little investment with you up front can save a whole bunch of money and heartache down the road. Allyns, thank you so much for being our guest today. Thank you for being here. And to every one of our listeners, I want to say, until next time, make it rain.